Very good. A very good morning. Wonderful weather in Kisii. And we are very happy to have woken up in these very beautiful surroundings as well. The great hospitality of the Abagusi, as you can hear, juxtaposed by the wonderful noises of our children playing in the background. So as we wind up our 2-day visit to Nyamira and Kisii, we just want to say asante kwa watu wetu wa Kisii. Tuliwaona jana Nyamira town, Kibirigo, alafu tukaingia hata daraja mbili jana, the Kisii roundabout, very historical, na tukafungua maofisi ya Wiper kama mwanachama wa Azimio, and we are accompanied by the leader of the Democratic Action Party, Mheshimiwa Eugene Wamalwa. I think the teams we have been seeing, the ones who have been there, we want to thank the members of parliament, the senators who have found the time, but more importantly our hosts, Governor Simba Arati and his team, and of course the Wiper team led by Mayor Samo Omando and team, Engineer Robert Muyabi na Mwalimu Ogenga. So where are we as we say kwaheri to you guys today, but we are coming. Ni kwaheri ya kuonana. So sasa tuelekea Migori, tapitia Rongo asubuhi ya leo, tutakutana na Governor Ochilo yako huko na timu ya Migori. Alafu kisha baadaye Migori kabla ya kurudi Nairobi. The issues are clear. The people, just like every other Kenyan, the Abagusi are feeling the weight of over-taxation. Even the farmers are beginning to feel very apprehensive, and indeed because of the farm tax proposals, which Kenya Kwanza MPs and their leaders are saying they are not read properly what was contained in their own document, Finance Act 2023. We're going to talk about privatization as well, and particularly as we are in the sugar growing zone. As we go to South Nyanza, Kisii in particular is part of that ecosystem. Some have been hard to argue that they are not privatizing because there is a prohibition, a legal prohibition, pending resolution of these matters. There's a court order saying thou shalt not privatize. Thou shalt not touch KICC, for example. Because our argument is simple. Although we are talking about state capture of parliament, 3 days, and they are giving only a lead time, unapatiwa 9 days to comply, employer na remit 1.5% na kila mtu 1.5%, yani ni mupende musipende kind of mentality, even though the issues are still being canvassed in our course of justice. So we have shared these thoughts with the people of Kisii and people of Nyamira. We have also made it very clear that we are watching the security agencies in particular, because they have issued a direct threat against the life of Governor Simba Arati. We made this very clear yesterday. And we are also saying Azimio is united. We are so focused, in fact, even more than ever before, because all we are saying is let our captain, our brother Raila Odinga, go on and get this seat, and we are all fully in support. We are praying for him. Some of us know some of these dynamics. We are able to see what we can do. But that does not mean kwamba Azimio itasambaratika. On the contrary, the people, we realize kusambaratika kwa Azimio will mean dashing the hopes and aspirations of Kenyans who want to see nothing but justice in their country. They want to see the education of their children also taken to the next level. But what is happening, the education sector imesambaratika. Capitation to schools. Schools are closing anytime, I think, in the next few days. And the head teachers have not received this money. And instead we are seeing of misappropriation, headline news again in the nation, of monies in the education sector. So it looks like Kenya Kwanza is on a free fall kind of approach. And they don't seem to listen to anybody other than themselves. They are demissioned by William Ruto himself that he knows there are cartels interfering at every level. And I said yesterday, if the president himself accepts there are cartels on the loose, and that he promises to read by detail, line by line, the budget proposals, what does that tell you? The architects of all these are his own ministers. So his admission that corruption is rampant. Kwa hivyo tunawahimiza tu, wakiwepo nyinyi washikadau wa maana sana, wana media, on your part, we also want to speak this morning from Kisii. Kwamba you have seen a deliberate effort at muzzling the free media in this country. That's the next thing. We are reading the Minister of Interior anataka kusema ati TikTok kwa mfano iko na security concerns. TikTok ni security gani? You also want how to interfere with the social media. The only thing now standing, because you want to fix the nation, you want to fix the standard, you want to fix standard media, you want to fix royal media or threaten them. We are saying as Azimio la Umoja One Kenya that we are standing with the free media. Na nyinyi pia mujaribu kujikomboa. You know now you cannot get advertising space unless you are doing it through the Star, and we know who the owners are of that publication, whose circulation is very, very minimal. So this is it. We have been watching. And so you should feel encouraged. So as we now set sail for Migori, we are very happy. I can ask my brother Eugene to add particularly on kusambaratishwa kwa uchumi na kila kitu na hawa na Kenya Kwanza. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Kalonzo, question.
Yeah, Kwanza aongea la.
We'll take questions, yes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the press. We, as His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka has said, we've enjoyed the wonderful welcome and hospitality of the Abagusi for the last 2 days. Tumekula matoke hapa na vitu. Grateful to Governor Simbarati, the governor of the great county of Kisii, incoming governor of Nyamira, ndugu yetu Ben Momanyi. We were in Nyamira yesterday. We are very, very pleased. But equally, we are very concerned about what our fellow Kenyans have shared with us. And my brother Kalonzo Musyoka and I have been traversing this country. We were in Kajiado. We went to Meru. We went to Embu, Tharaka Nithi. We've been to Mount Kenya. We've come down to the lake. But right from Isinya in Kajiado to Isibania in Kuria, where we are going, the cry is the same. Taxation, over-taxation. And people are talking about one name and one name only, Zakayo, and his punitive taxes. That is a common cry across this country. And this is something that we must ask ourselves, where did the rain start beating us? And it started with the apparent capture of parliament. When as Azimio we won the majority of the regions, 6 out of 8. We won the majority of the counties and constituencies. Kenya Kwanza embarked on a very nefarious mission of buying members of parliament to cross over to create an artificial majority. It's this majority that Kenya Kwanza is using to pass anything and everything in parliament, from their policies that are hurting Kenyans through the overtaxation to decisions that are outrightly unlawful, including that of the Privatization Act, where the oversight role of Parliament, donated by the people of Kenya, was being donated now to the executive to privatize everything. In this region, right from Soni to Mohoroni to Chemelil to Nzoia, the other side. All sugar factories were closed for 6 months, and now they're in the process of privatizing them. But already as Azimio, and we want to thank our brothers in ODM, we had already obtained orders stopping the privatization because of the bad law passed by this parliament. And it's not the only law. The other bad law is the Finance Act. How can members of parliament, particularly from Mount Kenya, start saying they did not know what they passed in parliament? That they did not know about avocado and how Zakayo wants 5 shillings for every 100 shillings a Kenyan farmer is making. Then are Kenyans really represented? If Kenyans are not represented, it happened in the Boston Tea Party, that there will be no taxation without representation. So we are saying, if our members of parliament have been captured and Kenyans are not represented, then we reject these taxes that are punitive, that were passed without proper representation of the people of Kenya. From the land of Abagusi, this is the land of the brave.
Yeah.
We want to say that as Mio, we'll continue fighting for Kenyans against the oppressive housing levy. Ile ushuru ya lazima, upende usipende, uwe na nyumba, usiwe nayo, unalazimishwa kulipa juu ya nyumba. So we want to assure you that through the courts, we'll continue in solidarity with those who are in court. We'll continue fighting this until the people of Kenya get to break. So I don't want to say much, but just to assure the people of Azimio, because we're in the stronghold of Azimio. Right here from Kisii to Kisumu to Kakamega to Kitale, the blue wave swept here. It's an Azimio region. Many of them are concerned, even as we go to Migori. What is going to happen when Baba moves to AU? Today we want to thank you for the support you gave Azimio in this region. But we also want to ask, and Governor Simbarati said yesterday, kutoka Kisii hadi Kitale, the western region will remain united in Azimio. As Baba goes to AU, he's our captain. But when the captain leaves the pitch, he just hands over the captain's band to another, so that the match goes on. Today we want to assure you, the people of this region, that Baba will be going to Addis, but he's leaving a very strong team. He's leaving as Kalonzo Musyoka, he's leaving as Wamalo and others in Azimio who are able to lead Azimio to continue fighting for Kenyans, and we will never relent. Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki.
Tungeongeza tu kwamba hata sasa hivi tukizungumza bado madaktari wetu wana mgomo. Historia ya Burukenge. Nasema hakuna pesa na hali wako na pesa za kuimarisha mabudget yao, kuinua hata zaidi, pump money where it's not even necessary. And as I said yesterday, to educate one Kenyan to become a qualified medical doctor takes a lot of investment. And we can't afford to waste that resource. The ratio of a doctor to the number of Kenyans is still far below the World Health Organization benchmark. So we want to say we are in solidarity with our doctors, complete solidarity. And the worst that I saw was them, the police tear gassing, in fact with a canister hitting on the head, because I went to call on the Secretary General of the Doctors Union. So mambo haya walegese, kama wasiporegesha hiyo kamba, wananchi bado wanaona. Matibabu ni so basic. It's a basic human right. And we don't want our Kenyan patients wherever. We know the mess there is, by the way, in the health sector. Real mess. They are now transitioning from NHIF to what they are calling SHIF. And even as we speak, under NHIF, monies have been collected, and those monies have not been given over to the service providers. So there are hospitals, including mission hospitals, which are owing so much by way of monies that NHIF should pay. And they're saying, wait until June when you transition from NHIF to SHIF. Now, the question is, who is handling that? What are they doing with that money? Mambo ni maswala mengi sana ya kiajabu ajabu. Now we can take your questions.
There was a question here.
Alitoroka. Alienda. Kama hakuna maswali utashukuru. Region is completely in support of his candidature. The East African community members, as you know, are Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, na Somalia ikaongezeka na pia DRC. So all of the 8 countries are in complete solidarity with the candidature of our brother Raila Amolo Odinga. We also know that when I was foreign minister, I was one time chairman of the candidatures committee of the foreign ministers. What has happened is a ministers meeting, and Addis Ababa also agreed that it is the turn for the East African region. They tried some people to think in terms of gender and a few other hurdles unnecessary. The ministers were able to agree. So our brother has a clean slate. So we think he's clearly headed for victory. And as he himself, as you know, is never afraid of any challenge. So kama kuna mtu anataka pia, ako na haki yake.
How does Kwanza respond to this issue?
They are supporting. And we actually said we thank them for standing with Baba on this matter. Because this is a national issue. His candidature is not for Azimio alone. Okay. It is for all Kenyans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, my name is Chris Minutiano from Citizen TV.
Yes, sir.
In recent past, for the past 1 week, serious complaints from section of farmers from Western region with regards to the type of fertilizers being supplied. What's your take about that?
I think our brother will handle this one. Even as we tell, you saw somebody at the level of Naibu wa Rais akisema, wamegundua kwamba hii mambo avocado was a mistake. Mistake ya ajabu. Who can take these people seriously?
No, I think the agricultural sector is in a mess. The health sector, as we have said, is in a mess. And when you look at what is happening in the agricultural sector, they have talked about, and we're also seeing the same mess in the education sector. Really? How can you say you can't raise 4 billion to bring doctors to here, Kisii, Nyamira? Yet, when you look at what is being consumed, I heard the very able women rep of Busia saying, ni chai gani here 4 billion wanakunya State House? Chai tu na mandazi. And yet, we cannot raise out 4 billion for our doctors to come and serve our people. In agriculture, we have been told of the success of the subsidized fertilizer. But what we have not been told, that part of that subsidized fertilizer was a donation from Russia. So there's been lack of full disclosure.
Indeed.
And that up to now has not been revealed. How much was received from Russia, who are the beneficiaries. And now we're hearing of fertilizer that is substandard. This is not a rumor. KEBS, the MD has confirmed that some of the fertilizer that is being distributed does not meet their standards. We are being told of some bags being packed with sand, mchanga, and being called fertilizer. No, this Kenya Kwanza mess is real, and that is why we are saying as Azimio, we are going to fight to clean Kenya of this Kenya Kwanza mess, to rid Kenya of the current harsh taxes, and bring back order, restore integrity in the leadership of this country, because corruption has hit an all-time high. For the first time, Kenya has been put on the shameful list of the grey-listed nations of there. What does this mean? It means this is a heaven of money laundering. This is the wash nation. No serious investor would want to come to a nation that is on the grey list, that has been grey listed. We are not being told about any specific measures being put in place to fight corruption. All they want is more and more taxes. But when you look at the expenditure, the wastage in government, what we are losing through corruption is much more. So we want to see this system corrupt, very tribal, and inept out of the way. And as a government in waiting, we want to assure Kenyans, every step of the way we are going to fight for them until 10th of August, 2027, when we send Sagai home with his corrupt government.
Thank you. Are you on that question? Because yes, a pessimist. Even if that was to happen, nothing will have changed. Okay? We are a team that believes in democracy. All right? And this is why we are fighting so hard to make sure the gains under Constitution 2010 are not going to get eroded. All right? So our brother is still part of the struggle. And this struggle is immense. And we're calling on every Kenyan to join hands, including you, Bwana Pessimist.